Well, bumping up against post time here for school. I'm just gonna get the kids to school right on time, and then take Ava over to school, and then off to the barn for the morning. I only have one drive this afternoon to Meadows. It's 3-point blue chip, and I really thought about whether, is it worth me going over there to have the one drive in the 13th race? And the answer was yes. I know the horse. He's in a good spot. We have him stepping forward in a good way, and I want to keep that progression moving. And that's not to say that anybody else couldn't have driven him. Of course they could. I just wanted to make sure that I was there to drive him. If I could be. I could be, so I will be. So that's what's up for today. Not a whole lot on the training side. How could there be? We trained like 57 horses yesterday or something. We trained almost everything in the barn because there was a cold snap coming back. Now they pushed it off another day or so we could have trained some today, I guess, in hindsight. But I wanted to get as many trained as we could. We had qualifiers, we had schoolers, we had races, and it had the most insane weather. I actually had a video last night of driving Memento Mori, but at the quarter pole, my face is covered with snow. It was literally sleet was the best way to put it. Amy said they're calling for sleet. You may not know what sleet is, but when you're in it, you know there's a difference. It's just waves of snow, and you can't get past it. I literally couldn't see. I said it 3 or 4 times in the video last night. This is insane. I literally can't see. I have my glasses down a little bit. I'm trying to, see around my glasses or over my glasses, but still be shielded from, the freezing rain and the sleet that is coming down. It was just not it was far from an ideal situation last night. But we get through Memento Mori's race, and then, got into Tally the Tab, and somebody messaged me and said, Tally the Tab, you think she's getting tired? I'm going to get these messages every time she does a race, but and my answer is simple. What's that, sweetheart?
It's a severe winter storm.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. But it was supposed to start today. I think it's supposed to start either later today or tomorrow now. But
they said we might get either school off tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah, it's going to be cold. I can assure you of that. We talked about it yesterday. What did I tell you about that? I talked about it yesterday, but it's crazy the days they get off school here. It's cold, and they're like, it's too cold for school. It's a big brick building. I'm not aware of any. It's not drafty. Yeah, but
especially for high school, because most of them drive themselves.
Okay, well, I get it.
I don't know about them, but for us,
because the school goes off from Nordonia.
It goes off of Nordonia. What would be the difference if it went off of Nordonia?
Nordonia has school off, then we have school off.
Well, whatever. I guess it's all the same. I guess when you shake it all down, but it seems like there's a lot of too cold to go to school days. Whatever. It was fun. There was no too cold to go to school days. I find myself speaking like, your parents when you were kids. When I was your age, well, I don't remember any days we missed.
All uphill.
Yeah, there was no schools off today, right? We went, and that was that. Anyway, nevertheless, it doesn't matter. We have school today, for now.
Tomorrow,
Yeah, there's probably school tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen. I know I was listening on the radio, and they said how did they put it? They didn't say catastrophic.
Yeah, they did.
Did they say catastrophic?
It's going to hit 30 states.
Yeah, and they said there's going to be hundreds of millions of people affected by ice, rain, snow, cold temperatures. It's going to be nasty. Just nasty the next little while.
And you have to race horses.
Yeah, if they're racing, that's it. If there's races, we'll be going. So, and then obviously we raced in Miami Valley. Only short one horse yesterday. Now, it wasn't the one I thought we were going to be short. We ended up going with Yo Mister, and he raced fantastic. But Woodmere Betcha, her AST was high, and we had to scratch her yesterday. We'll talk about all the horses in just a minute. Now, I gave you guys a long video of how the horses trained yesterday. Really happy. It's nice to come off a day where the horses were so-so, right? Like that last training mile, it was like the track last night. You guys have no idea. There's no point in even posting the videos because I think in one video I was a little angry. Tally the Tab lost a shoe. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's why she was a little bit flat. The 1/2 and 3 was a little egregious, and that's probably why the horse got the jump on me down the backstretch. But quite frankly, I could have kicked the plugs out and growled at her, but I didn't want to put her. I knew if he cleared, she wasn't dead yet. And I wanted to I didn't want to stretch her out and empty her out. My concern was the horse behind me. So horse 3 wide, horse behind that one, but the one behind me I thought was the real threat. So I was just trying to navigate all that, knowing that one, she had flip-flops on in a track that was excessively deep. And two, she didn't just have flip-flops on. She had a flip-flop on because the left one came flying off coming out of the first turn. So it's easy in this deep track to get up underneath those flip-flops, I guess. When the horses are trying to get their footing best they can, it's easy to shear those off. And that's exactly what happened. So yesterday afternoon we had qualifiers. I didn't do a qualifying video. It was just go, 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 go the entire day yesterday. And then I got home for a little bit. I just had to catch my breath, and I had to send some emails out. So I didn't get a chance to do a qualifying video for you. But I was happy with the qualifiers yesterday. I guess I'll start with a second update, which was, I think I might have given you this yesterday too. Rosa and Bobby did in fact bleed the other night. It certainly felt like she raced. It certainly raced like she bled. But we couldn't get her scoped because of the viciously cold temperatures. Dr. Latessa's scope was not working in the cold, so we couldn't scope her, but we scoped her the next day. Generally speaking, when you scope the horses the day after they race, you don't see a ton. Now, I was not there when the scope was done, but there was more than enough evidence to support the claim that she probably bled. Okay, 1 second, Addie Bear, we'll let you out. Alrighty. Out you go. You don't forget anything, okay? Got your bag, honey? That's a girl.
Good job.
Ollie, zip your bag up. Why do kids do that? Half zip things up. Yeah, really.
You're gonna get hit again.
Oh, I know. I heard.
Okay.
Take care.
You too.
You can tell by the way she's talking, they're not expecting any school tomorrow either. She goes, we're about to get hit again. Teachers are paying attention. Anyway,
We were talking about it yesterday with Mr. Dunn, you know, Tim.
yeah.
And he said that he has a bunch of quizzes he has to get in before we get snow days again.
Yeah, well,
He's like, I have one on Friday, but I think we're going to get Friday off.
yeah, it's going to be nasty. Anyway, so yesterday the babies trained well. I was happy to see them train well off a day when they were kind of so-so, right, with that deep snow. And I was talking about that, how it looked last night. It was even worse the other day training than it was yesterday. But I wanted to see how they were. And you could see the difference. Oh, I never posted the videos. I'll do that today. You will see the difference even in Boitano, who I think Amy picked me at the wire, but he was very, very good. We ended up going a mile like 2:46 to 2:48, something like that. He was really good. I don't remember anybody being poor yesterday. Even Spring Ice got a flat mile into him, 2:59. And as I talked about this yesterday, but going with him for the first time in a while, I could see there was a number of changes that needed made with regards to Spring Ice. So that's what went on in the afternoon. Now, as soon as the training sets were over, I got some pizza for the guys in the barn because it was a long, kind of miserable day. Somebody just said something. And then we went, as soon as I was over at the pizza, I went and picked the kids up from school at 2:45. Well, the horses warm up at 3. Well, this one goes to Walsh out the road, and the other two are at the school here at St. Barnabas. So grab the two kids from Barnabas, go out and get Ava at the other place. By the time I get back, it's 20 after 3. The horses are supposed to be warmed up. Well, Pretty Eyes and Lies was warmed up. They were waiting for me with Royal Duchess. You know, we tried to get a fast mile into her, but the day I trained her was that horrible day where everybody went slow because they couldn't get hold of the track. So she never really had that 2.3, 2.4 miles. She went a mile like 2.8. That's what she had coming into the qualifiers. I wanted a qualifier this week because I knew the cold temperatures were coming, and I didn't know if I really wanted to qualify her back the following week. And as I said to Jason last night, she really should re-qualify, I suppose, but we could put her in to go because Rosa and Bobby's going to miss a week. We could do that. Is she going to be great? No. She's going to need a couple of starts. You know, we got lots of work into them, but though, much like in Ontario, you know, we talk about how they have to get on the Mohawk and get fast miles into them because the farm track is not fit enough to go a mile and 2.1 or 2.2 with. So you get work into them, but you don't need any fast snap work into them, and that's what Royal Duchess needs. It's a couple of stiff miles to tighten her up. But she may get filed under what I hate, and that's racing horses into shape. And what I guess I should explain myself for maybe people that don't understand what I'm talking about. We bring our horses ready to go. When they qualify and they're entered in to go, they're ready to win if they're in the right class. Whereas in previous years, the older horseman model might have been, get them pretty well ready to race. Get some good miles in them, put them in to qualify, and then put them in the race and just kind of run them up the wood a couple of times. And somebody messaged me the other day and say, I heard you say an expression I'd never heard before, run them up the wood. Well, you haven't heard it too many times in this barn, I can tell you that. But it refers to back when the use of hub rails, wooden hub rails, race the horses easy. It's just a way of saying drive the horses very conservatively, because they're maybe not 100% ready to go. You don't hear that saying very often, and it only pertains to one McDonald, not the other. But Royal Duchess and Capistrano Knights, those horses are lacking a couple of fast miles, but I was qualifying Pretty Eyes and Lies, so I said, you know what, just put them in, we'll go with them, see how they were. Capistrano Knights lost a shoe going to the quarter pole. And it's always the same. It's the flip-flops, right? Drebin the other night, Capistrano Knights yesterday, Tally the Tab last night. It's flip-flops. And you might just say, well, just don't put flip-flops on them. They are good shoes, and they do race well, and then they do stay sound in them. It's tough. When you're on a firm track, no problem. When you're on a snowy track, a deep track, or a muddy track, in some cases, they may be more of a deterrent than they are a hindrance, if you will, more than they are a help in some cases. So, Capistrano Knights, I'll let you guess where she lost her shoe if you watch the qualifier. Starting into the backstretch, when she got all out of gear down the backstretch, that is oddly enough where she lost her shoe. So you see why it actually helps. You can see kind of that now she was slipping as much as it was the concussion, but you can see the difference with 3 shoes on is the 4 for sure. And then she ended up finishing up her mile okay. She wasn't bad. She actually might need another qualifier. Royal Duchess probably does. Is she going to get one, or do we run her up the wood? We'll see. I'll think about it. I think they draw today, so I got about an hour to think about it. And then, of course, Pretty Eyes and Lies qualified, but I think I am going to put Pretty Eyes and Lies in the sale. I'm going to get a lot of questions about this, so I want to go over this as best I can. When it comes to the babies, training back, training down, when we get them to the track, there's going to be leeway. You just heard me talk about it. Horses might need a few starts. They might need some work. Well, what happens when they get those few starts and they still leave you with a feeling that maybe they're either holding back or not quite good enough? We can wait another 2-3 weeks for Pretty Eyes and Lies to come around. But will she? The horse that I saw trained down looked good. 2.5, 2.4, 2.3. She had lots of work in. I go to school her without hobbles on, or qualifier without hobbles on. She's a raging lunatic. We put the hobbles on her. We qualify her. She's okay. In fact, I was expecting good things her first start at the Meadows. We'll go to race her, runs all over the track. Put her in the next week, she draws a 9-hole. I go over to race her, she rings the bell as soon as we come around the turn. And I guess that's just a way of saying she gave up. She didn't want to push forward, she didn't want to race. Her qualifier yesterday was adequate, a decent mile, all things considered. But again, as I said to Amy, around the last turn, she's catching up. The horses are coming back to her. She should be in attack mode. And instead, the closer she got to them, the more she kind of slowed down a little bit. That, right there, is the definition of eye of the tiger. How bad is she? Doesn't know it's just a qualifier. She's not old enough to know the difference yet. I would like to see her push through, persevere, try to attack, go into attack mode. It just didn't appear to be one. We got all these horses qualifying, getting ready to race and racing right now. I don't know that it's going to be beneficial to keep pretty eyes and eyes here. So it might be time to put her up for sale. By might, I mean it is time to put her up for sale. No? Why not? What's that? No. Her mother was Mom's horse. And I sold her a month ago. So bad ones gotta go. We gotta weed them out. As we start to get our team put together for 2026, it's much like spring training. Can't all make the cut.
Don't have 2 teams.
I don't want to have 2 teams though. You want me to race bad horses at smaller tracks? No. Just get rid of them.
Got the 18 and the 18.
All our horses are A teams. We're trying to. They're A team in Pennsylvania. They're an A team in Northfield. I don't really want to race a B team. There's horses that want to do it, horses that don't. If you go out and show me you want to do it, like Rosa and Bobby, I could tell there was something up with her yesterday. Not a very fast horse. She tried though. She did her work well. She trotted. She never asked to look. She never looked to get out of her work. She fizzled out. And when they said she bled, I'm not shocked at all. I can have.
The scope wasn't working. So it was cold.
They scoped her the next day, and she showed blood. No, she must have bled a fair amount for it to show blood the next day. But that's why we have the late sex program. So we get the qualifiers in. Now the schooler was Neurommancer. I went out with him. My expectations were tempered. You know, a lot of people asking me, and this goes in exactly what we're talking about right now. Anthony, you said that you trained Neuromancer in 2.5 twice. Surely he's ready to go. One would think he would be. But I just don't get the feeling he's there just yet. And there has to be a feeling, right? There's no criteria that they you check the boxes, okay, they're ready to go. They still have to be ready to go. There has to be somebody sitting there to say, all right, no, I think this one's ready to go, or no, not quite ready to go yet. Well, you're talking to that someone right now. My job to know the difference. And when it comes to Neuromancer, he schooled yesterday. There's just one elderly gentleman on the gate with me and his horse and the race bike. He looks over, he says, Anthony, how much you want to go? I said, honestly, sir, I don't know. I know when he's ready to go, probably. Is he going to do it off the gate properly, correctly, on this track? Another horse who wears flip-flops, by the way. Got away from the gate, just dropped in behind the gentleman. Now, I got the sense that he thought his horse was going to go a lot more than he did. We get up the corner in like 34 seconds. But Neuromancer's quiet. He's behaved. I've never seen him like this. He's relaxed. We go the half from 106 and 3. I move him in the turn to the outside, blast right by the pacing horse. Open up down the backstretch, last half in 1-1 and 2, a mile and 2.8 flat. Good mile for him. But the most impressive thing was how he was on the gate, quiet. How he was in the hole, quiet. How he passed the horse, perfectly. Now, there is a wide berth between what he did yesterday and winning a stake race, or winning an overnight race, winning any race. But yesterday was I was going to say impressive. It wasn't, from looking at it from the outside looking in, it wasn't impressive. Sitting behind him, knowing the horse, and seeing how he's mentally grown, physically matured, it was impressive. So he's got a little bit of work to do. What's wrong? What's wrong, honey?
Doors are going to close.
Why? 8:15? Oh, you better get in the door then. Oh, door's still open.
No, it's not. It's 8:15 now.
Lady just walked in.
Yeah, at 8:14. They automatically lock at 8:15. I have to go in the front.
Well, when that one, if it isn't, then go in the front. Okie dokie. What time's class? 8:20?
8:15.
No, it's not. I get you here the same time every day. Ah, you missed your coat. What about your coat? Hey! You little rat. What's with these kids? She's not even try the other door. Oh, well, whatever. always wants to go outside with a coat on. And I see the same kids. Do your kids do that, teenagers? Every day I see these kids coming out of this school. None of them got coats on. They all got polar bear blood in them. One thing, when I was a kid, I wore a coat. Freezing. Anyway, so I was pretty impressed with Neuromancer. Now, he has a lot of work to do. And this goes down to what I was talking about. Some of the horses just need a lot more work than the other ones. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with putting more work in if they need it, if it's going to benefit them. And as I say it, I get the sense and the feeling that maybe I didn't explain it well enough, the difference between what I saw yesterday in 2.8 with Neuromancer and what I saw yesterday in 2.3 or 2.4 with Pretty Eyes and Lies. I don't know that I'm explaining it well enough. So if you're one of my partners and you too are left saying, I have no idea what Anthony's even talking about right now, drop me a line. Be happy to discuss it, open a dialogue with you about it. Now, we went to Miami Valley. We just scratched Woodmere Betcha. The AST wasn't high. You know, factor in the trucking, the fact that she's a little fractious to begin with. 1,700 really isn't high. And to be honest, if she was racing tomorrow, wouldn't be a problem. Put a run fluids into her yesterday, run fluids into her today. I'm sure she would have been, her CK would have been down normal. Her AST would have been mildly elevated, but she would have raced. Just yesterday with a CK of 1,700 and the AST was 1,700 also, it means that it just happened on likely Monday when she trained. And although it's not a big deal, it is in the moment. So she couldn't race yesterday. She'll race next week. There won't be a problem. In fact, she'll be fine to probably train up a decent mile at Northfield Park on Saturday, and then we'll go from there. Now, next Thursday, we scratched Agent Black today. So next Thursday at Miami Valley will likely look like Yo Mister again. We'll talk about him in a minute. Agent Black, Woodmere Betcha, and then we might have one more depending on what the condition sheet looks like. I haven't really talked to Jason about it yet. Him and I will speak about that. I think they draw on Saturday anyway, so him and I will speak about that tomorrow or today briefly, and then he'll enter the horses in to go. So Yo Mister, I didn't really know what to think with Yo Mister. He's better. Obviously, he looked better to me. His hind ankles bother him a little bit, and up around his jacks. Now, is one of those, or could be both of those, but is one of those secondary? Probably. Scott has done a great job working with him. We set him down yesterday, and I'm kind of chewing my nails, watching the post-grade, watching the race. But it looked to me, if he had gotten free in the last turn anywhere in the mile, he wins. Definitely second, but I think he wins. He, too, lost a shoe leaving. I have to have a little talk with Enos today. But it was not a flip-flop. It was a mushroom bar. He probably just lost it. Again, he's shipping down, bouncing around in the trailer. He lost a shoe. So, raced very, very well. Finished fourth, but you could see the race. The horse was much better going into and coming out of the race. I was happy with him. The horse I was disappointed with was Spitfire Overseas. Now, I had a couple of messages yesterday, one of them in particular saying Spitfire looks like he's done. Now, guys, I know in the heat of the moment, people will say things, but Spitfire Overseas is probably one of the most erratic horses I've ever had in my life. I've never seen a horse race with more shoeing changes and equipment changes than Spitfire Overseas. What I mean by that is he's never the same twice. His qualifier was good, 5-6 weeks ago? We couldn't get him in anywhere. Decided to try and race him at Miami Valley. Then we Dayton. Then we left him down there because we didn't have a whole lot of classes for him up here. Fit the numbers or nothing, but they weren't letting him in there because he was dropping down. Now, I'll start my talk about Spitfire Overseas with the result first. The result of the race, I don't know, he's 7th, 8th, 9th, whatever he was. But he came home last night to Northfield Park. We have him here. We're going to reshoe him the way he was shod before. We're going to do a little vet work on him. We're going to put him back in to go. We may race him right here at Northfield Park first or over at the Meadows, one or the other. maybe the Meadows. I'm not sure yet. But we'll have him in to go next week. So the problem with Spitfire is he's never consistent. Now, when he was good, he was super consistent on the track. But it just seems like there was always one thing, a knee bothering him, a foot bothering him, a hind ankle. Oh, his stifles are a little weak, need a little attending to. His back's a little tight. Constantly shifting shoes. I have never in my life had a horse wear such a range of shoes and equipment. Ever. He'll go from wearing a rollerbird, a Murphy blind on the left, to wearing nothing, or a line pole on the right. I've never seen a horse so inconsistent and erratic with his equipment as Spitfire Overseas. One thing has been consistent. You race him from off the pace, he's never been good not one time in his life from off the pace. That I can remember anyway. And there's nothing Brett could do. He looked a little bumpy coming off the car and he had the outside. What are you going to do? Now, last week, he did not look as bumpy. He looked much better. What happened between last week and today? Now, he might have been a beat second last week, but mechanically speaking, he was trotting well. So what happened between last week and yesterday? That is Spitfire in a nutshell. It's incredibly hard to keep him consistently good. And he hasn't been good at all. Don't worry about consistently good. He hasn't been good at all for a while. But please, with I guess he's ruined, I guess he's done. Guys, it's like watching the ball game and screaming at the TV because your pitcher threw a ball. He's still a major league pitcher. And Spitfire Overseas is not a 6-year-old that is done. Is he going to go back to 51, 52? No. Well, one could argue he was never meant to go there to begin with. He's not done. He's not great right now. In fact, he's not even good right now. But he will get better. And we will find a place for him. There was a time when Stay Close struggled bad for us. There was a time when Looks Like Money struggled bad for us. So the idea that somehow, oh my God, he's done. He's not done. He's having a bad run right now. We did everything we could to get him back on track. He qualified great, and then timing stepped in. We talked about what stepped in last night, and we'll talk about that right now, actually. The timing. Went down to Miami Valley, or Dayton, couldn't get him in to go, left him down there, had to wait another week to get him in to go. Got him in to go, didn't draw great, didn't race great. Got him back in to go another week later, finished second. Beat by a horse that probably shouldn't have beaten him, but that's racing. You know, it is worth noting that in yesterday's race where he was 7th, 8th, whatever he was, Combs Hanover was beaten third, and he was dominant in the open there for 2 years. So, he's not the only horse that slides a little bit from time to time. Happens with every single horse. So we did into last night, probably my least favorite weather. If it had been 1 degree warmer yesterday for Memento Mori, it would have been my least favorite weather on this planet, in this universe. My glasses were covered with snow, trying to see where I'm going. Memento Mori, the gate is slipping and slowing down. I get up a little close to it, and he actually made a break coming up into behind the gate, and then he caught right back trotting. But even if I was on the gate, I wasn't getting away any closer than the third. It's a small horse on a deep track. He wasn't getting a hold of the track very well at all, and it was extremely taxing. The speed I had going to the quarter pole was the amount of speed I had for the entire rest of the mile. So Memento Mori raced as good as he could have. And I don't think you could have chopped it out any different way on that surface with that weather at that moment that he would have got an ounce more than he got last night. Did what he could. Then I went out with Tally the Tab, Justin, with Laura. I said, Laura's a nice filly. She is not going to like this track at all. She doesn't like the deeper tracks. She raced that way. You know, I know Aaron was mad coming to the half because I got a 33-second quarter. And in fairness, it's probably what allowed Keith to beat me last night. But as I said, I was worried about two things. One, I know she lost her left front shoe at the quarter pole. And two, I thought that Dan's horse was the one to beat right in behind me. I wasn't that worried about Keith's horse. Raced good. I wasn't even worried about the one that was second. And if I had just kicked the plugs and growled at her and forced her into her work down the backstretch, I thought I was being pretty clever. Let Keith ahead of me. Keith can't beat me. I'm going to slide up the inside and win, and Dan Noble's never going to get out. Just drive. Don't think sometimes. I had to just let her rock down the backstretch and kick the plugs and growled at her and kept Keith out because I could have. Looks like I probably would have still won the race. Just a terrible surface last night, and it wasn't the track's fault. It's just the weather right now is insane. 28 degrees. Actually, this morning would be a beautiful morning too. We really wanted to train. It was supposed to get bitter cold right away. I think it's supposed to stave off until tomorrow now. So we had a great day of training with the babies yesterday. We had 3 decent qualifiers. I really didn't know what to think with Royal Duchess. I'm coming in off a training mile and 2.8 in the race bike. I will tell you this. It just dawned on me. I was trying to think of all the horses we went with yesterday. Who's the standard? Who's the one that I thought went the best? And you're gonna be surprised when I tell you this. Megan's Lucky Day. Now, Megan has been training down without hobbles on. We were going a mile and a half, 220 speed yesterday. We ended up going at 216 with Captain Corey Philly there. Pickpocket Sister, and Steady Volo. Megan's Lucky Day was with us, and as we finished up our mile, I looked, and Megan's Lucky Day is not even on the track. Come in, they're putting hobbles on her. Jason goes, yeah, you can't get her over this track without hobbles on. My first instinct was, I'll go with her, leave the hobbles off, and then I said, you know what? Yeah, no, you're right. Go put the hobbles on her. We'll go with this set, and then I'll put her in the race bike and go with her. 2.6 last half at a minute, and looked extremely good doing it. Now, Megan is still small, doesn't carry a lot of weight, but she was very strong yesterday training. So we had a good day of trainers yesterday. The race bike horses, I was really impressed with the way Chicago Hall looked yesterday. Also, the way that Millie Girl and Diosa Della Danza trained yesterday, they both look good. Happy with them. Happy with the way all the sophomores trained yesterday. The babies, for the most part, I can't think of one horse. I was like, oh, this horse looks terrible. Can't think of one. Minor adjustments here and there. We talked about the adjustments with spring ice that need made. There was 3 or 4 other horses that need some equipment added. It's this time of year. Qualifiers, as I said, went well. I was happy with it. Pretty Eyes and Lies, we are going to put her in the preferred sale. I wasn't disappointed with her yesterday. She just hasn't shown me that eye of the tiger that I need to see. And I just got done telling you that I was happy with Neuromancer in 2.6. I was very happy with Megan's Lucky Day, or Neuromancer in 2.8. I was very happy with Megan's Lucky Day in 2.6. Well, then why wouldn't 2.3 or 2.4 give you a better feeling, a better sense of where she's at? It gave me a great sense of where she's at. The issue I have with her isn't the speed. It's how she doles it out. How she uses it, or in this case, doesn't use it. We have a number of horses we're focused on getting in to go in the maiden, and Pretty Eyes and Lies, quite frankly, at this point, would just be stuck in the way. I guess is the most blunt way to put it. In almost every sense of the word. Or the phrase, I should say. So we're going to put her up for sale. Who else do we have? We had Capistrano Nights. We got to keep her shoe on. That's first and foremost. So here's the thing. She was bumpy, but she was bumpy the other day also in 2.6. I got thinking about this later. She was a better variation of what she was last year. Last year, you had to hold her together, and she was so fast, 58 in the summer in her qualifier, but you had to hold her together. We're thinking, turn her out, give her lots of time, her knees will cool down, her stifles will fill in, right? All those little aches and pains will go away. But lo and behold, we get her back ready to go. Some of them are still prevalent. They're still there. How? Why? I think her biggest issue is that splint on her right front right now. So Dr. Tessa is going to have to address that. The reason I say that, splints don't cool down the same way. It crowd and blister them. Eventually, with time, they'll cool down a little bit, depending on where they're at, what they're next to, the point in their leg, with the spot in their leg where they actually are. But to see her go out and pace the same way, similar way at least. Now, down the back stretch, give her a break. She no shoe on. But I trained her the other day. I scored her down. Still felt a hair soft. I believe it's just that splint. That's the trigger. But doctor the test, I'll get to the bottom of that today. So Capistrano Nights, decent mile. Royal Duchess, decent mile. Is she going again? That's a question mark. I don't know. Now that Rosa and Bobby's going on Lasix and missing a week, is it beneficial just to put her in? You know what? Call it a paid qualifier. I hate doing that. But in this case, it might make more sense. And then the schooler with Neuromancer, I might just school him again. He's just not quite ready yet. But I was very happy with what I saw yesterday from him. And then the races yesterday, Yo Mister, rinse and repeat. Spitfire overseas, likely see him in here next week. Woodmere Betcha will be back in to go, and then rinse and repeat for all the horses last night, which are Allure, Tally the Tab, and Memento Mori. So that was yesterday in a nutshell. My day started early, not as early as Amy's, but my day ended late in the 14th race last night. So a long day yesterday. It's going to be an easier day today. I don't foresee me doing a ton of work today. I want to see a couple of horses jog. I got to go over to the meadows. I got to stop and get another pair of gloves. Rip my gloves. Got to stop and get a pair of gloves. Go over to the meadows, race, and then back home tonight. Tomorrow we don't have a whole lot on the go at all. Saturday afternoon I'm racing at the meadows, and then Saturday night I'm not. Sunday night we have 3 or 4 or 5 in to go here at Northfield Park, and you know what? It's going to be another good week, I think, to finish up the week. We get the right horses in the right place. This may not make sense to you, but I'll tell you right now. When it comes to the barn, the horses, the stable in general, it always makes more sense to continue to weed the horses out. It almost seems like we have this pot of energy, and every horse that maybe is inferior or not racing to their potential, just not doing well on the track, kind of drains away at it. It's not lost on me that Tenacious Hanover was so kind of poor the other day, but he was better and he's getting better. I'm watching everything right now. How are the babies? How are they coming? What do they look like? Who's got strengths and weaknesses? How do we fix the weaknesses? Are there any that need to go? Stake payment season's coming. Got to talk about the stakes very soon also with a number of people. How's that looking? And then, there's room right here. The racehorses, are they in the right class? If not, is there a class for them? Where is that class? When do they race? If they're not doing well, do we move them now? If not, when do we move them? These are all the things that right now, the transitions right now, this time of year, that we're going through. So still a lot on my mind, still a lot to do, still a lot going on. But for right now, 38 minutes? Wow. For right now, I'm at the barn. I'm going to go in, see how things are going, get a look at all the horses, and then head over to the meadows after a bit. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I hope you're having a great middle part of your week. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a great Wednesday, wherever you are.